Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Well, the hurricane really threw me for a loop, so I'm finally back, at least trying to do a video a day. Yesterday I did not do a video because my friend, who liquidated her bonsai collection, which I got most of, she sold off the best trees to people with way more money than me. She needed some help yesterday, so I went up to help her. So I'm going to begin to take my trees and put them on the new bench that I just completed. And I'm beginning with this portulacaria Jade. And if you can see, if we come for a close-up, you can see there's a lot of leggy growth. And it's hard to tell, but it's definitely, from being in the garage for 2 days and then being under the shade of a huge tree for about a week. I had to put it in the garage to keep it from getting blown over by the hurricane. And I probably took too long to build the bench. But, you know, it's no big deal. Just cut all that stuff off. I usually like to start with the lower limbs. And this limb here is also wired, but I do not detect any cutting into the bark, so I'm going to leave that for now. A lot of times I like to wire in the fall because the trees are slowing down with their growth. So the possibility of the bark, oh man, the wire cutting into the bark is much lower. So when I'm trimming, I'm trying to create some space between the branches and create some nice pads. And I said I like to start from the bottom up. It looks more like I'm going from the right side to the left side. Well, I'm standing here, so you know. And this can be a very meditative process. Just take some time and trim all the growing tips. And this kind of maintenance, like this, is something that you'll do over and over and over again in the life of the tree. And how often you do it really depends on the species, depends on the growing conditions, depends on... Oh, I think I have a bagworm. Oh no, well, I don't know what it is. It's just a piece of dead foliage. And it has some little lichens there, air plants. So already the right side just looks so much tidier. And so now it's on to the left side. Same kind of thing. Just remove all the growing tips. And some of them have elongated more than others. But I usually, when I'm in this stage of a tree, I like to cut every growing tip, and that really creates some nice density. And I think I'm going to turn the tree around here a little bit to get over here. I really like this tree. It's styled in just that classic style that I like. So, let's see. And if I miss one or two growing tips, it's not that big of a deal. There's always the next time. And like I said, this kind of simple maintenance like this is going to occur for the rest of the life of the tree. So there we go. Much tidier. I like the ramification that it's created. I really like this swooping branch here. I may actually make two pads, so bring a pad here and then another pad here. And it might be possible to do the same with the second main branch. Bring this down and have multiple pads. Okay. Can you see anywhere that I missed? I'm a closet comic, I guess. Yeah, don't quit my day job, right? Alright, there we go. Looking good. I like the movement. I like the branch placement. I like the canopy. And this is one of my nicest trees that I really enjoy growing. So that's it for this one. How long did that take? I think if I turn it off, I can do the other Jade. So, see you in a few seconds. This Jade here is one that I acquired from my friend when she liquidated her collection. And it's got a low branch that's a little too low, you know, as far as I'm concerned, but I'm going to keep it because it's just got, the tree is looking good. I did, in the last video, I took off the top and you end up getting a little dry stub where you cut. So that's that guy right there. And this is the same process. Just keeping the pads nice and tight. This tree is extremely root bound. So it's going to get a repotting come spring. Jade, this dwarf jade is probably one of the best beginner trees because they're so forgiving if you forget to water. They grow fairly quickly, so they develop fairly quickly. Take it to the back here. Just keep spinning it around. Now if we look at the front again, in other videos that where I featured this tree, I've said that I want this branch to get more out into here, so make a nicer canopy. And I so really like to fill in here, and I have this small branch here, but it's pretty weak. It really hasn't done much. So I'm going to take all the upward growth on this branch here, but I'm going to leave these guys to elongate and come out the way I want them. I think if that branch gets a little longer and fills in a little more, that will help with the design of the tree. Where's that one coming from? Well, it's coming from way in the back. So I really want, so I'm going to keep all these guys. This branch up here is pretty heavy, and it could probably also be wired into place. And as you can see, this tree also has some wire, but there's no sign of cutting into the bark. Now I don't take the fact that you see it cutting into the bark as the time that it ought to be removed. You remove the wire when the branch is set. And you'll get to know that when you start working on your trees. And if you're already seasoned, then you know what I'm talking about, that you don't have to wait for the wire to cut into the bark before you take the wire off. If you do see it cutting into the bark, at least in my world, then I take it off immediately because I just hate wire scars. And I have some trees with wire scars that are my fault too. Okay, I really think that guy needs to go down into there. Really would love for this little tiny guy to fill in. Now the way to promote this guy is to just let the growth on here just continue to grow and try to really trim back all the stuff above it so the tree is more prone into pushing growth into this small branch, because right now it's pretty weak. Only really has 2 areas of growth. And I think I'm very happy with the fact that I took that old stovepipe top off. The tree was up in here, but it was just all stovepipe. So now we have much nicer movement in the tree. And that's looking pretty good. You know, if you notice, this branch here is almost as far out as this branch, so it almost looks like cut off. And this branch is very heavy, not only thickness-wise, but foliage-wise too. It has a huge foliage pad, which the tree will become more symmetrical and look more balanced if I can get this part to be the same way out to here, and a much thicker, fuller foliage pad to balance this one here. So that's looking pretty good. So the future of this tree is a repotting, and then I'll decide if I want to keep the same pot. I think, I'm not really showing you the pot. I think that the pot is a pretty decent size. It's perhaps a little too small, especially if we're going to bring this pad out to here. But it's pretty close. It's a nice pot. Haven't cleaned it up much. But you know, trees on the benches, if I was going to put this into a show, then yes, you're going to scrub the pot real nice and clean. So there's number 2. And like I said at the end of my bench building videos, that now that it extends beyond the cinder blocks, the way to keep it from toppling over is to put the largest, heaviest trees right down the midline of the bench, and then move smaller trees out to the outside and try to keep the weight symmetrical. I've never had a problem with it, although the potential does exist. So this guy's looking pretty good. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you can continue to watch both of these guys as they develop even further. And leave a comment if you'd like. I just hit 350 subscribers, so thank you so much for everyone who subscribed. I truly appreciate it. And so now this one's going to be number 2 on the brand new bench. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.